Morning. Good to be with you again this morning. I'm standing out here amongst the black flies, just outside of College Boreal, and continuing to build on the four pillars of a healthy Christian business leader, which are healthy relationships, biblical financial values, biblical spirituality, and balanced living. This week, the focus is pillar number one, which is healthy relationships. And the topic that I have for this week is I am the boss. And yesterday we looked at, and I was standing outside some businesses there, we were looking at why will people bend over backwards for some bosses and not others. And this morning I want to talk about why do some bosses attract young talent and others don't. So why do some bosses attract young talent and others don't? And so that's why I'm standing here outside of College Boreal this morning as you think about a young talent. Have you ever been to a conference and you found that there are these business leaders who just always seem to have young talent hanging around them? They're just there. They're constantly looking for the attention, and they just really want to be with that particular business leader, and spend time with them. So what attracts young talent to someone and not others? Well, there are a few things that will have an impact on that. First of all, how you view the young talent will directly impact whether or not they're going to want to be around you. Do you see them as a threat to you in your career? You see, if you see young talent as a threat, if you see them as a threat to yourself or a threat to your career or a threat to your business, well, then they're going to not want to hang with you. They're not going to want to be around you. And so that's one thing. Do you see them as an asset? Do you see the young talent as someone who's going to benefit you and your business and an asset? Or are you willing to learn from them? So oftentimes when we draw young people around us, we want them to learn from us. But are we willing to learn from them as well? And so it's so important for us to recognize that those kinds of things will impact. And then, do you respect them? Or do you just treat them like, they're the kid that needs to go get your coffee or go get your, whatever for you, but you really don't treat them with respect. You don't respect them. You don't treat them as someone of value. All of that will impact whether or not they want to hang with you, want to be around you. So if you said no to these questions, to any one of these questions, don't be surprised that young talent, really don't want to spend time with you. Paul, the apostle, he shows us this principle. And he does so when he's dealing with two young men. The two young men that he deals with, in which he shows this kind of principle, is the two guys are Timothy and Titus. What is interesting when you read Paul's letters, and he's talking about Timothy and Titus, he always speaks of them with great respect. He talks about them as being co-workers. He treats them, in essence, as equals. Now, Timothy would have known that Paul is Paul and Timothy is not Paul, and Titus would have known the same thing, and everybody else around would have known that, but Paul still talks about them as co-equals, as co-workers for the cause. So he speaks highly of them. He tells others to treat these guys with respect. He sends letters ahead and he says, listen, these guys are coming. I want you to treat them with respect. Treat them as if you would treat me. And then he reminds Timothy, on one occasion, he says to Timothy, you know what? Your youth is an asset. He says, don't let people look down upon you because you happen to be young. Your youthfulness is an asset. And so, again, what a great principle that we learn here from Paul. Now, Paul did have issues with one young man. And oftentimes people will focus on that one, and that's John Mark. And Paul had issues with John Mark, but even John Mark. Now, John Mark was a young guy who had gone with Paul on a trip, and it was a mission trip that he was going to go and serve and work together. And then John Mark, for whatever reason, decided, you know what, no, I got to go back home. And Paul took offense to that because the job wasn't done. And John Mark did not stick with it. He bailed. And so Paul really had some strong words for John Mark. But even there, when John Mark finally gets his act together, Paul acknowledges that he has matured, that he has grown up. So today, as you go about your day, consider what impact you are having on the next generation. Do you have young talent that is attracted to you, that wants to hang with you, that wants to be in business with you? Are they seeing in you that you respect them, that you are going to treat them with respect, that you're going to tell others to respect them? And yes, there's room for them sometimes to blow it and then have to grow and mature. But even in that, you're going to treat them with respect. May we be the kind of people that attract young talent and not repel them. Have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. May the Lord bless you.